different question to start. A lot has happened to you in the last year. So how would you say that this Chase Sexton is different from the one 12 months ago?
I would say I'm a lot more mature. At least I'd like to think that. I would say the biggest thing for me this year compared to last year, I'm a lot more calm and kind of not letting it come to me, but not forcing the issue when it's not needed. And I'm still working, trying to get better on the new bike, and that's something it's a new learning curve for me, and it's almost made me be patient. So it's can be a good and a bad thing, but I think we're moving forward and we're getting better every weekend. So I would say just more calm and more mature, which is going to come with experience.
Or do you feel like that came because you won a championship? So you kind of get to the top of the mountain and you realise you're good in a way, like you're settled a bit more?
Yeah, I mean, I've accomplished a goal that I've dreamt of since I was a little kid, but we're not done yet. And but definitely, I would say winning last year gave me experience that I don't have to rush stuff and I can let things come to me more easy. And yeah, it's gave me more experience in general. Obviously, this is my 4th year in this class, so
getting up there.
Yeah, I'm getting up there. So it's I did 3 years in the 250 class, and then this will be my 4th year. So I've actually had more time in the 450 class now than the 250, which is crazy. So I'm looking forward to it though, and ready to get back on some good dirt. This stuff looks money, so we're ready to go.
Yeah, this place normally gets quite hard packed, I feel, but this doesn't look like it's going to go that way.
No, it doesn't look super hard packed. It kind of just depends on where the dirt sits at. Yeah. If it gets rain or snow. I think it'll still get hard later in the day, but I think practice is going to be fairly soft. So, yeah, we'll see how it goes, and looking forward. I'm going back to Florida after this, which I brought all my bags from California, dude. I looked like an idiot yesterday in the airport. I had like 4 bags trying to carry them. It was not good.
I've been meaning to ask you this for a while. You are the champion. You've got the #1 plate. You're last out in opening ceremonies. Is it as cool as you expected? Like, is it what you thought it would be?
I mean, it's cool, but like I said, my job is to win another one, and that's what my expectations are. So it's cool, but when you're in opening ceremonies, your mind's already focused on going racing. So it's like you enjoy it, but it's kind of like service level. You kind of have to get your mind ready to go for racing. But I mean, I'm grateful to be where I am as far as like the position I've been given at KTM, and then also just my career. Like if you look at it on a map, where it's came from is pretty cool. So I'm grateful for that, and keep climbing the mountain.
2 more quick things because this has been long. The KTM versus the Honda. I feel like the Honda almost gave you a false sense of trust until the point where it bit, whereas the KTM maybe gives you a better gauge of when it's time to back it down, when it's time to just maybe the KTM gives you a better read of the conditions and where things are going.
Yeah, it definitely gives you more of a stable feel, and you kind of, I would say I look more calm this year when I ride. I don't know if that's the right word, but I would say that you definitely have a more sense of what's going to happen on the track. Obviously, it's a dirt bike and anything can happen, but it's a good feeling to have something solid under your feet. And like I said, I've been working a lot with the bike and the team, and we're getting into a better spot, and my riding is getting better every week, so I'm looking forward to that.
And last thing, you've always been very open in interviews. You don't really hide the bad stuff. I know some other riders are afraid of letting their competitors hear this stuff in interviews, which I think is dumb. You obviously don't really think that way because you're always very honest.
Yeah, if I go out there and say I'm struggling and I go out and beat you and you're hiding stuff, it just makes you look like an idiot, kind of. So, good or bad, I'm always going to go out there to win. It doesn't mean if I'm not feeling good that I'm going to go ride for 5th. I'm going to go out there and give it my best, and some nights when you're not feeling good, you can still win, and that's kind of my mindset. So no matter how, even coming into the season, I was in a pretty bad spot, but I still had confidence in myself that I can go out there and do good, and that's kind of where I'm at. No matter what I say on the microphone, it's not going to affect how I'm riding on the dirt bike or what the competition, I don't really care what they think. It's all up to me at this point.
First things first, obviously you sprained your wrist in the off-season. So when did that happen? How did it happen? And how has the last 2 months looked for you?
Yeah, definitely. We went from Tomax back to the farm to do some training at the farm, get back in the flow on the Florida tracks. And we got good training in. We did have a little crash, which, put me out for just a little bit. But it's motocross. Those things happen. You're going to get beat up, but this is a man sport. It's no playing games or acting like a baby. So we got to be tough. and stick to the same goal. Try to win these races, and definitely championship is what we're looking for.
Were you quite lucky to get away from the crash with just a sprained wrist? Like, was it a bad one?
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, honestly. This stuff's gonna happen. I just gotta look past it and focus on my goals and working hard.
Are you ready now then, or is this a case of like take what you can get this weekend and then come out swinging in Arlington?
I'm at a good spot right now, honestly. I've had good days on the bike, good speed, and it's really, it's first round. You can come here at the first round. Obviously, your goal is to win the opener. That's always the goal. But say you get 5th here, it's not the end of the world. You have time to go work, or you get 10th here. You got time. You got 3 weeks after this to work on stuff too. So we're gonna go out here. We're gonna do our best we can, and the goal is always to win or get on the podium first round.
Last thing, it's been a chaotic off-season for crash, for wrist, a lot of hype around you as always. How easy is it to stay mentally focused with all of that going on around you?
Yeah, that stuff's, I like it, especially, it's good, seeing that people are kind of realizing the work I put in and how bad I want to win, where they're pitting my standards there. But obviously the people that doubt me, and man, I feed off that, the doubt, and it's always there. It's even with the greatest, Jet. Jet's winning. They doubt him. It's just how it is in life, and you got to be able to work hard. And I do a lot of my listening to Goggins and that mind. You got to have a good mindset in this sport. So working hard and grinding.
You're ready for another go at a 250 Supercross Championship, but how is this Austin Forkner different to the ones previously who have tried this same goal?
Yeah, I made an off-season trainer. Well, I guess not off-season. It was when I tore my knee last year. Before I came back for outdoors, I made a change to Ryan Hughes as my on the bike trainer, and we've been doing a lot of I would say quality over quantity work this past off-season. We've been getting our motos in. We've been doing all that stuff, but every time we've been on the track, it's been quality. Even in the warm-up, even in everything, it's been we've had a goal in mind. We've had something to work towards or work on. And that's just been some things technique, some things some things speed, some things technique that will then lead to speed. This off season I think has just progressively gone pretty much exactly how you would hope an off season to go. Like you start out here, and then before you know it, 2 weeks in, you got the bike a little better, your speed's coming up, okay, another 2 weeks your fitness is coming up, you're able to do it while the technique things we're working on are starting to become a habit. I'm not having to think, okay, I need to do this, I have to do this, think about that. It starts to just become instinctual, it starts to just become, a habit, natural. So this off season's gone pretty well as far as that stuff goes, and I think that if I ride how I know how to ride, and do the things that we've been working on, implement them in my riding, then I think we'll be fine.
It seems to me like it's not actually the riding that has benefited from this, it's the mental state. It seems like you're just very calm and confident in the work you've been doing, which I'm guessing maybe hasn't always been the case.
Yeah, just the past couple of years, I've been having to live in California. Mitch wanted me out there, and my old trainer, Robbie Raynard, is in Oklahoma. So and he has kids there. He has his own training facility. So it's just kind of been the fact that he couldn't be out there working with me as much. And working with somebody as super hands-on as Rhino, and he's always every lap. I hardly ever come around and he's just standing there. He's always doing something as far as pointing to hips, pointing to squeeze with my knee, elbows up. Whatever the case is, he's always doing something. So to go from somebody who's to go to somebody who is super, super invested, he's there every day. I just think that has been a benefit, and it's kept me focused on the end goal, and we've kind of done everything based on feel. Nothing's just been on, okay, you be the fastest guy at the track today. Be the fastest. Oh, you were the fastest guy. It was a good day. No, if I was the fastest guy, but I wasn't riding like we've been working on me riding and technique-wise and all that stuff, then it wasn't a successful day to Rhino. So we haven't always just been working on speed. We've been working on technique, and then the speed has came slowly throughout the off season. So and then just that straight, you go back to just all that stuff starts to get me checked in, and start checking boxes in my head as far as confidence goes with all that stuff. So I'm coming in feeling pretty confident, and just like if I, no matter the result, if I come off the track and Rhino's like, hey, you rode good, whether that's a first, whether that's a third, whether that's a fifth, I think that's a good night.
Do you feel like then maybe in hindsight you've lacked guidance or maybe the proper guidance through your career thus far?
It's just been like with Rhino, it's just different. It's not so much things that I haven't worked on in the past. It's just kind of maybe a little bit different way of going about doing them. And Rhino being out here in California, he out there in California, he's been able to suggest things to the team, and they will take his word for it because he's there every day, and they see how we've been working together and stuff, and things that have been working and things that haven't been working, and they see that, and I think they appreciate that. So they were, pretty lenient on what exactly, as far as we didn't have to ride at the same place as everybody else every day, or we didn't have to do this, have to do that. Like, they were pretty lenient on what we could and couldn't do because, like, Rhino straight told him, hey, like, I don't think what's best for me is going speed, riding with all the fast guys, just doing, stopwatch nationals every single day. I think we need to slow down for the first month, work on these things, and then the speed will slowly creep up as he gets more comfortable doing these certain things. And that's pretty much exactly how it worked, really. So not exactly a whole lot different from what I've worked on in the past. I've worked on those certain things, just a different way of going about it, I would say.
Yeah, I guess sometimes it doesn't have to be different. As long as it feels different, that's kind of good enough and does the job.
Yeah, exactly, and that's the whole thing that Rhino every day, he would say, let's go based off of feel. If you feel good, then let's do a lot today. If you don't feel good, let's take it easy. Let's back it down. Like he goes a lot based off of feel, not just where everybody I feel like is just basing everything off of the stopwatch. Oh, you were fast today, you weren't fast today. What was the problem? Well, no, I may have not been the fastest guy today, but I did 20 laps, every single lap, not one mistake. And that's success to Rhino. Like that, it's just things that maybe the typical trainer or whatever might not see as progress or as a success. Rhino does in ways like that, but based on what he thinks that is good for me or what I need to work on. So yeah, I feel like it's been a good off-season.
Round 1 of 250 East last year, most people didn't even know your name. Everyone just thought you were kind of here to have a bit of fun. Very different situation this year, but do you yourself view it as different? How is Max Anstie this year different to 12 months ago?
Well, I'm world champ now. 2-time
maybe
Australian
forever
champ.
as well, because
I know. I don't know what's happening there. I think it's nice to kind of be on the other end of the hype scale. It's funny though, like I was thinking about this when I was flying yesterday. When you want the attention or you want the hype, you don't have it, and then when you don't really need it, that's when you get it. It's like everything's rolling quite well. The bike's working well. The team's doing a great job, but at the end of the day, like I've been saying it to these guys, they've been asking me, is it championship or bust or this or that? I'm like, man, we're a small team. We're Firepower Honda. I'm not HRC. I'm not these Star Yamahas or PC with these big budgets. My guys, I've got 4 or 5 guys at the workshop working just for me on my bike, and it's fantastic. They do a great job, but we're not a big team, but we're doing a great job and we're competitive with the big team. So that's the main thing. Just be competitive. I don't know, go racing. At the end of the day, I've done enough gate drops in my career and in my life that just go racing, and when the gate drops, the bullshit stops. Some of you bumper stickers like that before.
Have you ever experienced this like attention and hype before? Maybe heading into 2018 after the Matterley Nations, but apart from that, I can't really think of a example.
No, but then again, I think with World and Australian Supercross that I've been doing, of course, I know it's on a slightly smaller scale, but still in Australia, I went in with the number 1 red plate for round 1, and it's like, even though it's still different, it's still nerve-wracking, it's still kind of one of those things. I'm still, I didn't win it last year. I've done well, but it is what it is. I think all of that preparation has kind of got me ready for this. It's kind of cool though. It makes you feel like you're, in a weird way, finally landed in America after all these years. Like, in the GPs, I probably had that reputation, or they weren't surprised if I got on the podium, weren't surprised if I won a race, or it was like, oh wow, that's great. It was more of a surprise if I didn't do well. I guess it's quite nice now to kind of feel like that. I guess, a little different, but it's kind of nice to feel like, all right, people sort of know who you are.
I guess it feels like a big relief to finally get here because you were race ready for WSX, you were race ready for Australia, you've kept that going, so it's been a long road of being ready to finally get to this point.
Yeah, no, exactly. I think that comes with a bit of age and a bit of experience as well, like knowing when and how much to push, and it's been kind of nice to have, more time off and do more things with Finn and go around and, not have to be like on the edge all the time. Coming in. I mean, even now, like I feel good, but I feel like I've still got another week's worth of like more training and more intensity that I want to put in the 3 weeks off that we have coming up. So it's like my Hawkstone. I'm basically at Hawkstone right now.
Last thing, you've had a good winter of getting your tyres dirty and you're not ready to sell mud flaps just yet.
Yeah, exactly. I've been down Thomasville and watching a lot of cars. Yes. So ready to rock and roll.
Obviously, another year has been and gone. You're making another assault on a 250 Supercross championship. What's different for you now, though? How do you feel as though you've grown as a person? What do you notice about yourself that's different?
I think the way that you handle, like when I was younger, I mean, I came out of the gate hot, won championships, 2 outdoors back to back, and it's just been kind of injury plagued since then, and you're like, oh, I just got injured. How do I deal with the lows of it, right? Well, I've been pretty beat down the last couple of years, and I think I've come to the point now with being 30, and I'm like, dude, I just enjoy what I do for a living. I give it my all. I'm in damn good shape, and I have fun on the motorcycle. And I think what I take away is if I have a bad night or whatever, I can't control it, right? Like I've done everything I can to be as good as I can for the night. When the opportunity presents itself, I'm going to take it. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. It's not from a lack of effort or that I don't want it. So I think I know how to handle like the lows a little bit better, and I think that just comes with age and wisdom.
Yeah, maybe you don't let a bad result bother you so much. You let go of that stuff much quicker now than in the past?
Yeah, I definitely say so.
Obviously, after Hangtown last year, a lot of people expected you to miss all of the Supercross season.
Yeah.
So how has that process been? Was there truth to that? Initially, did it look like making 2024 Supercross seem unrealistic?
Oh yeah, definitely. Trying to make the 2024 season was for Supercross was a bit of a worry or concern for me. I mean, the injury was pretty gnarly. It was a lot worse than I initially thought it was going to be. And I remember just telling Brandon, I was like, hey, I'm going to try to give it a grade A effort. I'll do the off-season boot camp, and if we're coming into it and I feel good, great. And if not, we're just going to try to get ready for outdoors. And things started to kind of click, and I definitely had some bad days, man. There's some days where I'm just like, God, what am I doing? But I think that's life, right? Like, we all have those days, and, I still kept pushing, and I feel like I'm in a decent spot to line up with these guys and fight for it.
I guess that helps with the mental side because realistically, after that injury, you're not meant to be here. Yeah. So in theory, just racing here is a bonus.
Yeah, I think so. And like I said, I'm getting a bit older now, and I feel like, I improved mentally off the track, and then the club bike has gotten better as well. So I'm pretty proud of those guys, and I'm just excited to be here and just be an opportunist.
And last thing, are you 100%? Where are you at in the recovery process? Is there still a lot of rebuilding to go?
Well, I mean, I think I had some nerve damage done in that arm, and I think it gets better and better. So like as the weeks go by, I feel it getting better and better, and the strength is coming back, and the flexibility is coming back. It is my throttle side, so that's been a little bit troublesome. But I just look forward to it. It's good throttle therapy, and it's helping.